This is Nationwide, reaching you on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Lami Ali. We begin with security. An all-encompassing national crisis management doctrine has been launched by President Muhammadu Buhari, a subset of the National Counter-Terrorism Strategy. The doctrine provides a detailed methodology for seamless, effective and coordinated response to national crisis. State House correspondent Adam Zambu brings us the details.
Developed by the Office of the National Security Advisor, the National Crisis Management Doctrine seeks to foster synergy and interoperability amongst relevant ministries, departments and agencies in the event of crisis. President Muhammadu Buhari described as gladdening that the Office of the National Security Advisor has not relented in its efforts at implementing the National Counter-Terrorism Strategy. The doctrine, he said, will go a long way towards bridging the gap created by extensive deployment of security services in tackling national crisis.
I am delighted to state that this is a significant milestone in recognition of the need for our collective efforts towards achieving coordinated, effective, and efficient national crisis management. This shows the renewed promise and commitment of this administration to managing crisis in the country.
Nigeria, without doubt, is facing multiple security challenges, resulting in panic in the minds of the populace. Confronting them, the president, however, said requires much more than the deployment of security apparatus and resources, but also a coordinated cross-government efforts.
I therefore urge the Office of the National Security Advisor to continue to play the coordinator role among crisis response stakeholders to achieve greater successes. I hope that the relationship will continue to be sustained.
The National Security Advisor, Babagana Munguno, described the National Crisis Management Doctrine as a policy framework for coordinating multi-agency response to national crises. It outlines cascading levels of responsibility and authority while fostering collaborative actions and interoperability.
The implementation of the National Crisis Management Doctrine will no doubt enhance the whole of government approach to management of crisis, as well as improve cooperation and interoperability among response ministries, departments, and agencies. It is to be noted that the National Crisis Management Doctrine can be used to manage both malicious threats and civil emergencies, owing to the general principles set out within it.
The National Crisis Management Doctrine was developed in collaboration with the British High Commission. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Federal Capital Territory Administration is exploring ways of getting alternative sources of funding for the education sector in the territory. FCTA Permanent Secretary Olushade Adeshola gave this indication at a retreat for sustainable options for funding of FCT public schools and vocational centers in Abuja. Unoze Yakubu tells us more.
In a bid to provide a sustainable, functional, and inclusive education for the residents, the FCTA Permanent Secretary Olushade Adeshola disclosed that the administration will explore alternative sources of funding, as government alone can no longer fund education, hence the need to involve non-state actors and the organized public sector to strengthen the funding of public schools as well as vocational centers in the FCT.
I want this to take developing and how to address the human productivity of teachers in our school system, as well as the non-academic partnerships that will complement the government in the funding of your sector.
Secretary for Education Sani Daniel Katuzu reveals that the retreat will also address security challenge and training of staff. He commends the LCT Minister for resuscitating the G7 security operation.
It is just an avenue for us to awaken ourselves for the responsibilities that we have in offering education to the FCT community.
The theme for the retreat is building consensus for a more effective and efficient education service delivery in the FCT. NTA News.
Now, beneficiaries of the End Skills initiative of the federal government in the Federal Capital Territory have been presented with starter packs for smartphone repairs. Elizabeth Omori reports that the beneficiaries were trained for 6 weeks.
Value is amongst the beneficiaries of the End Skills Lifelong Empowerment Program. He just received his starter pack and is ready to start eking or living just like the other 174 beneficiaries.
Very soon, we'll all start having our own apprentice also to teach on how to repair phones, mobile phones.
The initiative, which also recognizes members of the disability community, promotes skills and knowledge acquired by individuals.
They are going to have a monthly stipend of 10,000 naira to aid in their transportation for the master craftsman training. Because this is what they are going to have the real practical knowledge of what they have been taught for this past 6 weeks. During this process of 6 months, we are going to send independent monitors and assessors that will assess and evaluate their performance. That will now lead to the issuance of the final certificate.
The End Skills initiative is a component of the National Social Investment Program, a catalyst to drive the agenda of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Nigeria and China are exploring values in culture and education as part of strategies to sustain cooperation and developments via an essay and awards competition ceremony organized by the China Cultural Center. Juliana Nicholas reports.
Symphony produces great melody when harmonized, just like adapting to and protecting nature are the prerequisites for performing. This initiative held in Abuja by the Chinese government called Sharing Chinese Harmony and Performing Nigeria-China Symphony in collaboration with the Nigerian government is to see how young people in the society can stimulate their intellectual and writing ability through creative minds.
This year's essay competition is really a great success. Encouraged by this fabulous success, we are planning to work with our Nigerian friends and partners to start speech competition, painting competition, short video competition, songwriting, and composing competition.
These two nations are working together in building platforms that will accommodate young talents for a promising future. With this conscious act of self-discipline, harmony has a catalyst for peaceful coexistence and economic development cannot be overemphasized.
For me, today is a statement of honor. So this harmony is a key word and a stabilizing factor which has a space among all of us in terms of our coexistence, peaceful relationship, etc. among us as a people.
Awards were given to the participants and winners who went home with cash prize.
I'm surprised that I came the winner, but I'm happy as a journalist. So I took my time to dig into some of my experience in China. So I put all this together in my write-up. So I'm grateful.
In Abuja, Juliana Nicholas, NTA News.
Population managers say a new census data of Nigeria is key to meeting the nation's diverse needs, and the 2023 census requires the buy-in of all towards achieving a credible and verifiable data outcome. This was the crux of submissions as the new curtains drew on the National Stakeholders Summit on the 2023 Population and Housing Census in Abuja. Oluseyi Adeabo has more on the summit.
Nigeria has a long history of census taking, and since the last census in 2006, many changes have occurred, taking even a global shift to digital technology. Census being a multi-sectoral and multi-agency project, generating and sustaining public awareness on the conduct of the exercise, as well as synergizing the activities of actors, is part of what this National Stakeholders Summit seeks to achieve.
Everybody that has a need, that they will take the need of the person into the consideration. Therefore, we will have harmonized data.
I'm appealing to all traditional rulers in this country to join this winning force to have a better Nigeria.
Discussions from panelists at the summit also provided updates on several pre-census activities, such as the remuneration area demarcation, EAD exercise, and the recently concluded trial census, among others, as participants asked questions and made suggestions on ways of achieving a credible and verifiable data outcome.
As details we are using way back 15 years, are they still correct? Do they still identify us as Nigeria? Are we truly 217 million persons? If by the time we finish the counting, we are conducting for Nigeria and for Nigerians. So we have to get Nigerians involved so that they'll take it as their own project.
And we are ready to deliver a credible, transparent, and census that is of international standards.
The National Stakeholders Summit is championed by Nigeria's apex population body, the NPC, and the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, as partner. In Abuja, Oluseyi Adeabo, NTA News.
The Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund is going extra mile to resolve complaints and make prompt compensations to all employees or their dependents that suffer workplace-related injuries within a timeline of 14 working days. The new vista is contained in a service compact with all Nigerian workers to be abreast with the procedures for claims and compensations. Emmanuel Ayimiru brings us the story.
Very little is said to be known since the enactment of Employees Compensation Act of 2010 provided to respond adequately to crises arising from work-related injuries. To encourage more awareness about employees' compensation scheme and quality service delivery, a charter that will hold department accountable for timely compensation and discharging of duties has been initiated by Savicom.
This reviewed service data which they are going to bring on board. Indeed, be a document that will be made public and will help you track if all that they have promised they will do. The compensation, the preventive, and the rehabilitation. Are they doing it as they have promised? So hold them accountable.
Some of them get injured. They will not report the claim the time they're supposed to report the claim. So, but we try now, due to our billboards out there and every other communication through the occupational health and safety, the HSC unit, to encourage them that once you get injured, that you have to do what? Report back to us. And once we get this claim, we do everything necessary to make sure that we take care of that.
The service charter communicates to workers on what to expect from the NSITF, follow-up counseling and rehabilitation of injured employees, and standards of service render, as well as minimum delays and compensations. Emmanuel Ayimiro, NTA News.
Now, a fire outbreak at the House of Representatives' new building on Thursday evening has been contained. Information available to NTA News from the Office of the Clerk, House of Representatives, Yahya Anzaria, explains that the fire started with a spark from a water dispenser as a result of electric surge in room 227. The fire service was immediately notified and the firemen put out the fire. Normalcy has since returned as the fire did not spread beyond that office. We now join Kende in Lagos for more reports on Nationwide. It's over to you, Kende.
Thank you, Lami, and welcome to Lagos. There is no gainsaying that Nigerian youth have continued to strive hard in ensuring that they are not left behind in the scheme of things, including politics and other relevant positions in the country. As the world marks this year's International Youth Day, focus is raising awareness on certain barriers to intergenerational solidarity, notably ageism, which impacts youth and old while having detrimental effects. Okay, has the
12th August every year is observed as International Youth Day. It is a day set aside by the United Nations to celebrate the achievements and contributions of the younger generation in different spheres. This day is also used to draw attention to the plight of the youths. In Nigeria, for instance, data by the National Bureau of Statistics indicate that Nigeria, being the most populous black nation, is home to over 200 million people with an annual population growth of 2.61%. Of this figure, youth constitute over 16.8%, and they contribute to the growth of the gross domestic product in the nation, an indication that there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Which I've been given the chances to get involved. So you get involved in the activities in politics, in every aspect of the economy. So I believe things will change. In our society today, you see many graduates. So government have to come in. Have to empower them.
As far as the youth is concerned, I think we deserve to be treated very, very well, very right.
It is therefore believed that the contributory roles of the youths in nation building will give them an edge to becoming better leaders in various sectors.
Talent is barren until a platform is created. So when these platforms are created, young people will also find expression, because until we use our talents and skills properly, we won't be able to develop the 21st century Nigeria that we are clamoring for.
Last week, we read that a little boy of 17 years created a semi-radio to be broadcasting what is going on in the northern part of the country. So it makes me very glad that I'm alive to see this happen.
We parents, we should continue praying for our children so that they will do what is right.
It is hoped that government at all levels will give insights to the plight of the younger generation for equal representation and change the narrative. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
Let's now turn our attention to environmental matters. Cutting down trees for export and other activities without replanting can further deplete the nation's forest cover. To prevent this, a workshop has been held in Lagos to sensitize stakeholders, particularly in the private sector, on the need for sustainable forest financing and management. Jennifer Igwe reports.
Before independence, there was massive forest reservation in Nigeria. 10 million hectares of land, representing 10% of total land area, were reserved for forestry. Forest reserves of the nation, spread across geopolitical zones of the nation, was put at 90%. Today, however, the figure has drastically reduced. One of the initiatives of the federal government to return the glory of Nigeria's forestry is the National Forestry Trust Fund.
The money that we can generate from the export of woods to the sites, 25% will be utilized for the program.
This interactive sensitization meeting on resource mobilization is aimed at re-strategizing and compelling stakeholders on the need to key in and explore opportunities for restoration of the forest ecosystem. Abbas Suleiman, who represented the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Environment, said the gathering is apt as the nation is trying to tackle several environmental challenges which the forestry subsector can address.
This meeting is thinking of ways of expanding areas where funding can come from, especially how we can synergize with the private sector. Having our forest kept in its pristine condition and then turning other degraded areas into forested lands.
This collaborative effort will also check illegal and indiscriminate felling of trees and ensure the nation meets its obligation under the Convention Against International Trade in Endangered Species, CITES. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
And that's our contribution from Lagos. Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and all the social media handles displayed on your screen for update. Kemi Oshin standing by in Ibadan after this break.
Hello and welcome to Ibadan. Over 4,000 corps members have successfully completed their service year in Oyo State. Shola Wahid witnessed the passing out ceremony of the 2020 to 2021 Batch B Stream 2 corps members at some local government areas in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital.
Presenting discharge certificates to the outgoing corps members at a low-key personal parade ceremony as some local governments visited, State Coordinator Grace Obugudu encouraged them to make good use of acquired knowledge during their service year for the development of the nation.
One means of income is not good for anybody because anything can happen any day. When that one closes, the person will just be confused. The double source of income, their employment, if they get, which is fine, then the skills or the businesses they have opened for themselves, that one too is very good.
Some of the outgoing corps members who could not hide their joy expressed readiness to optimize and make good use of knowledge which they have gotten in the course of their service year.
I thank God for the opportunity given to me. So I didn't even know how to express myself because I feel like screaming.
I should start my business like small farm.
The experience has been great, it has been awesome. I met new people, I learned new skills, and it's something like it's a memorable one actually because I learned a lot of things and I met different people and I learned different culture again because me leaving my place to come over to this place, it was great.
1,874 males and 2,570 females were discharged in the state. In Ibadan, Shola Wahid, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission has decried the low turnout of people for the collection of their permanent voter cards in Kwara State. Resident Electoral Commissioner of INEC in Kwara State, Garba Madami, confirmed these in an exclusive interview with NTA's Olajide Bello.
It will be recalled that the continuous voter registration exercise that commenced mid last year ended July 31st, 2022 after many extensions. However, many Nigerians are still clamoring for an extension. According to INEC, this is a dream that can never come true, as the Commission will soon commence display of the registration of voters for claims and objections, to clean up the register, to remove multiple registration through the use of automated biometric identification system, and the list goes on.
And therefore, Electoral Act 2022 spelled out clearly what we are to do after the serial. Those that have registered now newly, we are going to print out their register and put on the board all over the local government. If your name is misspelled or they mistakenly put your date of birth wrongly, you point it out. We are also going to consolidate the data of the existing voters, for the registered voters, for the production of what we call National Register of Voters.
Besides this, the Herculean task ahead of the 2023 election is that the newly registered voter cards takes 3 months to print. The Commission says for those whose cards are available, registers will be displayed at the 16 local government areas of the state for collection, which will not be done by proxy. INEC says all hands are on deck to ensure a credible election come 2023. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Lami. Good afternoon.
Many thanks, Kemi. Aero Contractors Airline has taken delivery of the first AQ400 brand new aircraft as part of efforts to return stronger after suspending operation on the 20th of July 2022. The new aircraft, which was delivered at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, was purchased by Mohammed Abubakar, owner of IMSA Farms, as part of the new partnership deal between his company, IMSA Express, and Aero Contractors to bring the airline back to operations. Aero Contractors is expected to bring in 4 additional new aircrafts to boost its operations in addition to previous aircraft undergoing maintenance. We move to Rivers, where the state government inaugurated a 32 fully furnished 4-bedroom duplexes for lawmakers in the state. Speaker, House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila performed the official handing over ceremony of the quarters to the lawmakers of the state.
This project intends to ensure that the legislators who make laws for the people of the state hold the executive to account and advocate for the people's interests can function in a conducive and convenient environment. It is a worthy achievement that will long impact the performance of the legislature in this state and stand to the credit of the men and women who envisioned and executed it. Let me tell you today, I do not invite you here because you're an APC member. I invited you because of the role you played for River State to get their money. And I said, come and see what I've done with that money. Out of it.
The lawmakers lauded the gesture of the River State Governor, Nyesom Wike, in providing them befitting residence. The network of All Progressives Congress support groups is developing a roadmap towards ensuring a hitch-free and transparent general election devoid of rancor. This came to the fore during a maiden gathering of the network, which cut across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. The group is passionate about the unity and collective aspiration of all members of the party through consolidation on the party's gains.
Job that is expected of the members of APC National Integrity Movement. How are we going to reach out to people that we know they are not happy in one way or another, to make sure that we have a better understanding, to make sure that APC will remain in power beyond 2023.
There is so much belief in this movement, but the fact that because one, it has a reconciliatory structure in it, whereby all interests, agreed interests are going to be contained, assimilated, accommodated, and beginning sense of belonging and sense of direction.
The assemblage of youths advised party faithful to continue to be loyal and dedicated to the party and embrace the 2022 Electoral Act, which will be a litmus test in 2023 general elections. Now, All Progressives Congress National Leader of People Living with Disabilities, Tolu Bankole, has appealed to Nigerians to put the interests of the nation above personal or primordial sentiments as the nation prepares to face another election year. Bankole says the country has proven to be a divine creation of God, owing to several attempts to destroy the very social fabric that holds the country together.
We should try as much as possible to see ourselves as one. We should work for peace in Nigeria. We should work for the unity of this country. We should continue to support our dearest President Muhammadu Buhari. And he has done a lot for the country. And nobody is perfect. And it's only God that is perfect. And that's why we pray for better days.
The leader of People Living with Disabilities on the platform of APC says the party has done well under the present administration despite efforts by miscreants to undermine the progress achieved.
president. He's our hero. He's our leader. He's a progressive leader. And nobody has done it this best for PWD in the history of this country. President Muhammadu Buhari is our hero and he has done very much for us. And when you look at his timely signing of discrimination against PWD's Prohibition Act 2018, it was timely passed by the National Assembly and timely assented to by the President.
He said the interest of more than 35 million people living with disabilities has been adequately captured by the APC government and pledged to continue to indulge future calls to support the party at all levels. Now, in a situation that could best be described as soul-lifting, some Christian groups have organized a praise and worship program in Abuja to seek God's intervention in lifting Nigeria out of the socio-economic challenge. Kenneth Nanim reports.
Christians across the country have continued to demonstrate faith in God through intercessory prayers and thanksgiving. As such, this event, Festival of Praise, is one of such avenues anchored on the biblical account of 2 Chronicles chapter 20, where the people of Israel praised God and he consumed their enemies.
In our present situation, everybody is calling for divine intervention. And the only way we can get God to fight for us is for us to praise Him. As Christians, we can be light in the world and we can be a rallying point and unifier, not only of Christians, but of other Nigerians. Let us love our country. There is so much God has given us in this country.
The program also emphasized the need for Nigerians to confess the country in a positive light and demonstrate unity of purpose in the forthcoming general elections.
Vote the candidate you want, whether he belongs to any religion, is not your problem. But let's get a person that can lead this country and give us a new face of life.
Indeed, it was a harvest soul-lifting songs from different choral groups that organizers say will be replicated in the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
The task of nation building, devoid of self-aggrandizement, is central to messages heralding the 48th National Conference of the Methodist Church of Nigeria. The annual event enables the church leadership to also rub minds on issues of national interest. Ngozi Technical reports.
The importance of peaceful coexistence among Nigerians would not have come at a better time than now, considering series of challenges the country is grappling with. In this regard, the prelate of the Methodist Church of Nigeria, Dr. Samuel Kanu Uche, is appealing for prayers to make Nigeria better.
Therefore, this conference, I call all of us to see it as a retreat to rise before God. Several various needs and challenges to me, and I believe He will answer us because we have cried enough. God will restore and heal our land. It will be a land of milk and honey that God intended it to be.
The Deputy Governor of Benue State, who was also in attendance, emphasizes the need to promote ethnic and religious tolerance against all odds.
Very, very special privilege in declaring this conference open.
It is where we sit down together as a family to discuss about the church, and not only the church, but the nation, Nigeria at large.
The conference, among other things, will see to the emergence of a new prelate of the Methodist Church as the present prelate completes his tenure. In Abuja, Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
Now, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has commenced aerial spray against killer birds in Adamawa State to protect farms for optimal yields and crop security. Simon Asha reports that the spray was carried out in 10 local government areas of the state.
Ten out of the 21 local government areas of Adamawa State are infested with a menace of killer bats. The area spray by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, in conjunction with Adamawa State Government, is to mitigate the destructive effect of killer bats for optimal yields and food security in the country.
The spray, when done, the adult birds, their population will be reduced, and once that it is reduced, their ability to reproduce also will be, reduced, and in that the pressure they will now exert on crops will also be reduced.
The area spray carried across the affected local government areas in the state is to bring respite to the farmers for hitch-free wet season.
And we are using this NTA in controlling these beds. We are dusting the areas where the locations are, all the roasting and nesting sites are.
It is expected that with the commencement of the area spray, farmers now breathe a sigh of relief. In Yola, Simon Asher, NTA News.
And farmers in Yobe State may now heave a sigh of relief as the federal government commences aerial spray to control killer birds reported in some parts of the state. Adam Yusuf reports.
Killer birds are sub-Saharan wild birds that move in millions, as named one of the most feared and destructive as far as farming activities are concerned, particularly in northern Nigeria. They are uninvited guests that come and destroy any available cereal crop within hours. To check these excesses, these wild birds around Fika local government area in Yobe State, the federal government provided the needed pesticides and other chemicals for an aerial spray. For 2 days, the plane that sprayed the pesticides has taken off from the Gombe State International Airport Lawanti. Experts say killer birds are dangerous birds, especially when the crops reach harvesting stage, which prompted the government to embark on an emergency spray. The emergency action is a response to the outcry by farmers in the affected areas.
The purpose of this intervention is to control the destructive pests, which is usually affect crop every year.
We are here for an emergency area sprays against killer birds to mitigate against the negative impacts of this on farmers, because the video used to happen around the season. It is also part of the federal government's commitment to ensuring a hitch-free cropping season in Damaturu. Adam Yusuf Ali, NTA.
A free medical outreach has been organized by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons for IDPs in Waru community in the Federal Capital Territory. This is part of efforts to ensure the National Health Insurance Authority Act is fully implemented with active participation of persons of concern. Ruth Agwele reports.
Waru, a host community for some internally displaced persons in the Federal Capital Territory, as a ray of hope beckons for the IDPs who have gathered at the primary health care center situated in the heart of the community to undergo free eye screening and cataract surgery, courtesy National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, a gesture that has come knocking for the first time.
This is just a pilot phase of the project, Total Health, and help us doing health assessments and so forth. And we'll also be able to strengthen capacity of our health facilities in the host communities, so that we're ready for the migration into the NHIS once it's active.
80 years old Aisha Usman is one of the beneficiaries. She says she has endured severe pains from eye problem for the past 8 years and almost going blind. But for her, this is a dream come true.
So we are here to look at their eyes, check their vision. Majorly those that are blind or severely visually impaired from cataracts. They also have cataract surgery.
They are facing eye challenges, but with this opportunity come to our people, so we don't have anything to say rather than to tell the federal government entirely that we are very, very grateful.
The target is to ensure no one is left behind. A gesture, they say, will be replicated across all IDP camps across the country. In Abuja, Ruth Agwele, NTA News.
Abubakar is standing by in Maiduguri with more updates for Nationwide. Hello, Abubakar.
That's true, Larry. It's always good to see you. The Borno State government has settled 2022 West African Examination Council WAEC fees for indigenous candidates who sat in public schools across the state. A check of over 300 million naira was presented to the examination body on behalf of the Borno State government by the Education Commissioner, Engineer Lawan Abbo Kilbi. Here are more details of the story. It was not only a gratifying moment for Borno State government through the Ministry of Education, but indeed a milestone towards securing the future of indigenous candidates who sat for 2022 WAEC examinations when Engineer Lawan Abbo Kilbi handed over the check to the examination body for timely release of their results, conveying Governor Babagana Umara's utmost gratitude to WAEC for its continuous support and understanding so far. The Education Commissioner explained that 2022 indigenous candidates can now access their results following the payment of 329,805,800 naira to the organization by the state government. Wakilbi also used the medium to appeal to WAEC to extend its 2023 examinations to 8 local governments of Borno in line with the resettlement efforts of the state government.
His Excellency Professor Babagana Umara Zulum is a passionate governor, and one of his objectives in education is to create equity between the have and have-nots.
While describing the Zulum administration as highly responsive to the educational needs of the citizenry, Zonal Coordinator, WAEC, Maiduguri Office, Zakaria said 2022 candidates should expect their results before Friday, 12th August 2022. Away from issues that have to do with education for now, the Borno State government, supported by the African Development Bank, is set to remodel the oldest livestock market in Jere local government within the heart of the state capital, Maiduguri, to meet international standards for economic growth. In that regard, General Manager, Rural Water Supply and Sanitation Agency, Engineer Mohammed Musa Aliyu, engaged stakeholders of the council and handed over site following the directive of Governor Babagana Umara Zulum. Umar Kyawa will now tell us more.
The renowned cattle market that provides multi-million naira livestock value chain activities in the Lake Chad sub-region, popularly called Kaswanshanu in Jere Local Government Council of Borno State, has been faring for years in an undesirable condition. Borno State government is now taking a bold step through the Inclusive Basic Service Delivery and Livelihood Empowerment Integrated Program to transform the market to meet global demand. General Manager Ruwasa Engineer Mohammed Musa Aliyu, leadership of the council and the cattle market, said government has earmarked over 1 billion naira for the execution of the project.
They will continue to do their businesses while the construction is ongoing. And we are expecting even our neighboring countries to come and patronize this market because it will be well secured. It will have a lot of things within the market.
The ultra-modern cattle market is expected to have 160 shops, administrative block, water facilities, clinic for veterinary services, toilet, drainage and road networks, in addition to traders' lodge, loading bay, among others. Stakeholders of Jere and leadership of the cattle market thanked Governor Zulum for what they described as unprecedented intervention in the market since its establishment half a century ago.
The government's intention to remodel the age-old cattle market and abattoir, popularly called Kaswanshanu, according to the cattle businessmen, is a development that will go a long way in improving socio-economic well-being of the citizenry. In Maiduguri, Umaru Kirawa, NTA News.
Thanks, Kirawa. Let us at this point take another break on Nationwide, but Lami in Abuja will be back with more stories for us thereafter.
The Federal Road Safety Corps has reiterated its commitments to enforcing road laws to make Nigerian roads safe and free from crashes. The zonal commander of the Corps in charge of Jos, Lafia and Makudi, Gilbert Ibekwe, gave the assurance in Makudi while briefing newsman Grace Anyalewa Ichekpa reports.
The Zonal Commander of Federal Road Safety Corps, Gilbert Igbokwe, while briefing newsmen in Makudi, says his visit is to familiarize and actualize his official mandate of monitoring and supervising all commands under his purview as he assumes office. Mr. Igbokwe therefore called for maximum cooperation from the marshals to enable them achieve their mandate.
I've also come to look at the commands, see their challenges, so that the challenges, the ones we can handle with the command in the zone, we handle them, and the ones we cannot handle, I'll forward them to our headquarters.
The zonal commander further says the command is poised to improve the welfare of marshals, as the acting corps marshal Dauda Alibiu has zero tolerance for corruption.
We have our surveillance teams we put in place to ensure that these bad eggs are identified. They are identified and they are paid the necessary trials. And if they are found guilty, they get out of the corps.
He also harped on the corps' relentlessness on clamping down on unregistered motorcycles, while calling on relevant stakeholders to cooperate with them to reduce operators who are not registered. In Makurdi, Grace Anyalewa, Ichekpa, NTA News.
And in view of the ongoing construction work at Kara Bridge along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, which causes traffic gridlock and attracts some hoodlums who are allegedly disguising as hawkers, Ogun State Police Command has deployed tactical teams to the area to curtail incidents of attack on members of the public. The police, in a statement by the command's public relations officer, Abimbola Oyemi, orders hawkers of goods to vacate the area immediately to maintain sanity on the road and deter criminals from perpetrating crime on the bridge or anywhere around. The command also assures members of the public, especially commuters plying the road, of their safety. Let's now join our sports desk for sports updates. And that concludes Nationwide for today. We thank you for watching. Rape is a crime. Join NTA in the campaign against rape and rapists. Have a good weekend. I'm Lami Ali.